I thought I knew my wife. 25 years of marriage and I was certain we were unbreakable. I was wrong. The realization hits me now as I sit in this empty house, surrounded by the ghosts of what I believed was a perfect life. But let me start from the beginning. When ignorance was still bliss and trust wasn't a weapon used against me. I met Diane at a company picnic in 1998. I was 28. She was 26. And something about her laugh made me forget every other woman I'd ever known. She had this way of tilting her head when she listened, like your words were the most important thing in the world. We dated for 3 years, real courtship, not the rushed modern nonsense. Dinners, movies, long walks where we talked about everything and nothing. I proposed on the same bench where we'd had our first real conversation. Our wedding was modest but perfect in 2001. Her dress was simple, elegant, nothing flashy. That was Diane, understated class. We honeymooned in Myrtle Beach, spent a week doing absolutely nothing but being together. Those were the days when silence between us felt comfortable, not loaded with secrets. Connor arrived 2 years later in 2003, and watching Diane hold our son for the first time, I knew I'd do anything to protect this family. She quit her job at the insurance company without hesitation. "I want to be here for him," she said, and I was proud to make that possible. I worked my ass off, climbed from inventory clerk to operations director over 15 years. 60-hour weeks, missed dinners, sacrificed weekends, all worth it to give them the life they deserved. The house we bought in 2008 became our fortress. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, nothing fancy but ours. Every mortgage payment felt like another brick in the foundation of our future. We painted Connor's room blue, argued over which couch to buy, planted tomatoes in the backyard that never quite grew right. Normal life. Beautiful, ordinary, normal life. Connor grew up to be everything we'd hoped. Smart, funny, talented. He inherited Diane's artistic eye and my work ethic. Now 21 and a successful graphic designer, he still comes by most Saturdays for dinner and football. Diane always said he was proof we'd done something right. Saturday nights used to be our ritual. Connor would join us, I'd crack open a beer, and we'd settle in to watch whatever game was on. Diane would curl up beside me, sometimes falling asleep against my shoulder during halftime. Those moments felt eternal, like we'd figured out the secret to happiness that so many couples missed. But lately, something's shifted. Looking back, I can pinpoint when it started, about 4 months ago. Diane began getting dressed up for simple errands. New perfume, stronger than what she used to wear, hairstyled for quick trips to the grocery store. She'd disappear for hours on these shopping expeditions, coming home with barely any bags. Her phone became an extension of her hand, constantly checking it, responding to messages with little smiles I didn't recognize. When I'd ask who was texting, she'd wave me off. "Just the girls from book club," she would say dismissively. But when I suggested we invite her book club friends over for dinner, she made excuses. "They're very private people, Richard. Not really the dinner party type," she replied with an edge to her voice. New friends I'd never met. Names dropped in conversation, but never any details. "Oh, you know how Sarah is," she'd say, except I'd never heard of Sarah before. When I'd press for specifics, Diane would get that look, like I was being controlling. Suspicious for no reason, the dismissiveness hurt most. Simple questions about her day met with sighs and eye rolls. "Nothing interesting happened, Richard." "Just errands," she would respond when I asked about her day. But she'd be energized in a way that contradicted her words. Humming songs I didn't recognize, checking her reflection in every mirror she passed. I told myself it was healthy. Maybe she was rediscovering herself now that Connor was independent. Maybe the book club was helping her make new connections. Maybe I was being the paranoid husband every woman complains about. So I bit my tongue, ignored the warning bells, and chose to trust the woman I'd loved for a quarter of a century. Tonight feels different, though. Connor's here for the weekend, a rare treat since he moved across town. We're settled in our usual spots. Monday night football queued up, everything normal except for the tension I can't quite name. Diane appears in the living room doorway, and I do a double take. She's dressed like she's going to dinner at a nice restaurant, not shopping at the mall. Black dress I've never seen before, the kind that costs more than our weekly grocery budget. Her makeup is perfect, jewelry carefully chosen. The perfume hits me from across the room, not the light floral scent I've known for years, but something heavier, more seductive. "Shopping with the girls," she announces, leaning down to kiss my cheek. Her lips linger a fraction too long, and there's something performative about the gesture, like she's proving something to herself rather than showing affection. "Have fun." "Honey," I respond, barely glancing up from the screen, but Connor's reaction catches my attention. His smile is wrong, tight, forced, like he's trying not to reveal something. Our eyes meet for just a second, and I see something there that makes my stomach clench. Knowledge, discomfort, the look of someone carrying a burden they don't want. After Diane leaves, the atmosphere in the room shifts like a storm front moving in. Connor fidgets with his beer, eyes darting everywhere except to me. The game plays on, but neither of us is really watching. Minutes tick by in loaded silence. Finally, Connor sets down his beer and turns to face me. His face is pale, jaw tight, and I know with absolute certainty that whatever he's about to say will change everything. "Dad," he says, his voice barely above a whisper. "Can I talk to you about something?" "About Mom." The words hang in the air between us like a death sentence, and I realize that deep down, I've been waiting for this moment longer than I want to admit. "What about Mom?" I ask, forcing my voice to stay steady. Connor runs his hands through his hair, a nervous habit he's had since he was 10, and I can see him struggling with where to start. The silence stretches between us, filled only by the distant sound of the football commentators and my own heartbeat thundering in my ears. "Last Tuesday," Connor finally begins, "I was at Riverside Mall getting supplies for a client project." "You know how Mom shops there all the time?" I nod. "Tuesday. The day Diane said she was having lunch with her book club. I saw her car in the parking lot. That red sedan with her vanity plate. Couldn't miss it," he continues. My chest tightens, but I don't interrupt. At first, I didn't think anything of it. "Mom shops there constantly, right? But then..." Connor's voice cracks, and he looks like he's going to be sick. "Then I saw her with someone, a guy. Young guy, maybe mid-20s. They weren't just talking, Dad." The room starts to spin slightly, but I grip the arm of the couch and keep my expression neutral. "What do you mean?" I ask quietly. Connor reaches into his pocket and pulls out his phone with trembling hands. I thought maybe I was seeing things. Maybe it was innocent, and I was just being paranoid. He swallows hard. "I recorded it. I had to know for sure." He hands me the phone, and for a moment, I just stare at the black screen, knowing that once I press play, there's no going back. 25 years of marriage, of trust, of building a life together. It might all be about to crumble with the touch of a button. I press play. The video is shaky at first. Connor clearly trying to get a better angle while staying hidden. But then the image stabilizes, and I see her. My wife, pressed against a silver Honda Civic in the mall parking lot, her hands tangled in a young man's dark hair, kissing him with a passion I haven't seen from her in years. This isn't a goodbye peck or a friendly hug that could be misinterpreted. This is intimate, familiar, practiced. The way she melts into him, the way he holds her face like he's done it 1,000 times before, this is the kiss of lovers, not strangers. I watch my wife of 25 years laugh between kisses, watch her check her surroundings with the calculated awareness of someone who knows exactly what they're doing wrong. The timestamp in the corner reads last Tuesday, 2:47 p.m., the exact time she told me she was having grilled salmon with Margaret from book club. The video ends with Diane breaking away from the kiss, smoothing her hair, and walking back to her car like nothing happened. The young man watches her go with an arrogant smile that makes my blood boil. I replay the video. Then again. Each viewing drives the knife deeper, but I need to memorize every detail. His face, clean-shaven, arrogant, probably thinks he's invincible. The license plate on the Honda, partially visible in one frame. The way Diane moves, confident and careful, like this is routine. The book club, I say quietly, more to myself than to Connor. She said she was at lunch with the book club. I know, Connor whispers. I wanted to be wrong, Dad. I hoped I was crazy. Something cold settles over me, replacing the initial shock. It's not rage, not yet. It's something more dangerous. Clarity, calculation, the same methodical thinking that helped me climb from inventory clerk to operations director, except now I'm applying it to the systematic destruction of my marriage. I hand the phone back to Connor and stand up, my movements deliberate and controlled. She said she's going shopping tonight, I say, my voice eerily calm. Same mall. Same routine? Dad, what are you thinking? Connor asks, looking up at me with worried eyes. I'm thinking that if she's doing this regularly and that video suggests she is, then tonight we're going to catch her. Not just kissing this time, we're going to get proof that will stand up in court, I explain. Maybe we should just confront her here at home. Connor starts. No, I interrupt sharply, the word coming out final. Home is safe territory for her. She can lie, make excuses, manipulate the situation. Out there in the act, with no escape and no preparation, that's where we'll get the truth. I'm already moving toward the hallway closet, grabbing my jacket. My mind races through logistics, divorce lawyers, asset protection, custody considerations, even though Connor's an adult. I'm thinking 5 steps ahead while Connor sits frozen on the couch. Get your jacket, I tell him. We're going hunting, Connor hesitates. Dad, are you sure about this? Once we do this, there's no going back. I meet his eyes. And he must see something there that convinces him, because he stands up and reaches for his coat. She already made the choice to destroy this family, son. I'm just documenting the evidence, I explain. The drive to the mall is silent, except for the sound of tires on asphalt and my own measured breathing. Connor sits in the passenger seat, guilt written across his face for being the messenger. But he doesn't understand. I'm not angry at him. If anything, I'm grateful. Better to know the truth than live in a fool's paradise. My phone buzzes with a text from Diane. Having so much fun with the girls. Don't wait up. Love you! I show Connor the message. His jaw tightens with disgust. The casual cruelty of it, the ease with which she lies while she's probably already on her way to meet her lover, crystallizes something inside me. This isn't just betrayal. It's calculated deception from someone who thinks I'm too stupid, too trusting, too comfortable to ever catch on. She's wrong. 2 blocks ahead. I spot her red sedan with its vanity plate, Diane 51, a birthday gift to herself that I paid for, driving to meet another man. The irony would be funny if it weren't so devastating. There, Connor says unnecessarily. I can see her, following her usual route to Riverside Mall just like he predicted. I kill the headlights and drop back, maintaining visual contact while staying invisible. Stay back, I whisper to Connor, though we're alone in the car. She can't know we're here, not yet. Not until it's too late for her to run. We follow Diane through the familiar streets of our suburban neighborhood, past the coffee shop where we used to get Sunday morning lattes, past Connor's old elementary school, past the life we built together that she's now destroying for the thrill of a young man's attention. The normalcy of the route makes the betrayal more surreal, more cutting. At the mall, Diane parks in the back section, far from the main entrance and away from the security cameras. That detail alone confirms this isn't innocent. She's chosen the darkest, most secluded area of the lot. I park several rows away, positioning us with a clear view of her vehicle, while remaining hidden behind a large SUV. Through my windshield, I watch my wife sit in her car, checking her phone repeatedly, adjusting her makeup in the rearview mirror. She's nervous, excited, anticipating something that has nothing to do with shopping and everything to do with betrayal. The way she keeps glancing around, scanning for potential witnesses, proves this is practiced deception. She's waiting for him, I say quietly, more to myself than to Connor. 5 minutes tick by. Then, exactly as Connor predicted, a silver Honda Civic pulls into the space beside her. My chest tightens as I get my first real look at the man who's been sleeping with my wife. Tyler Reed, I'll learn his name later from the license plate. Connor captures, steps out of his car with the swagger of someone who thinks he's untouchable. Mid-20s, athletic build, expensive sneakers that probably cost more than most people's car payments. He's wearing a leather jacket that screams bad boy and carries himself like a man who's used to taking whatever he wants. He doesn't look around nervously like Diane. He's confident, casual, completely comfortable with this arrangement. That arrogance tells me everything I need to know about their dynamic. He's not some lovesick kid who fell for a married woman. He's a predator who enjoys the conquest. Diane exits her car quickly and slips into Tyler's passenger seat. For just a moment, the interior light illuminates them both before the door closes. I can see them talking, laughing, their body language intimate and familiar. This isn't a first meeting or even a recent development. This is routine. Within minutes, the Honda's windows begin to fog. I check my watch, 7:43 p.m. The car starts to rock slightly, subtle at first, then more rhythmically. My hands clench into fists on the steering wheel as the reality hits me fully. This isn't just emotional betrayal. They're having intimacy in a parking lot like teenagers. And my wife is enjoying every second of it. Jesus, Connor mutters, his voice thick with disgust and anger. I force myself to stay analytical, clinical. Emotions can come later. Right now, I need evidence that will destroy her in court. I need you to record everything that happens next, I tell Connor, my voice steady despite the rage building in my chest. From the moment I open that door until we walk away. Everything. No matter what you see or hear. Can you do that? For the lawyer, Connor responds, his face pale but his voice understanding the stakes. Exactly. Adultery allegations require proof. Visual evidence of the act? That changes everything. She won't get a penny of my money, and if she tries to claim I'm the bad guy in this divorce, we'll have the truth to show the judge, I explain. We exit my car silently, Connor holding his phone steady, already recording. The parking lot is nearly empty, just a few scattered vehicles near the mall entrance. No witnesses except us. Perfect. As we approach the Honda, the sounds become audible. Muffled laughter, breathless whispers, the unmistakable sounds of two people who think they're invisible to the world. The car rocks more obviously now, and I can see movement through the fogged windows, shapes shifting, bodies moving in the rhythm of betrayal. My hand hovers over the door handle. This is it, the point of no return. Once I open this door, 25 years of marriage officially ends. Our life together becomes evidence in a court case. Diane becomes an adversary instead of a partner. I look at Connor one last time. His face is set with grim determination, phone steady in his hands. Whatever you see in there, I tell him quietly. Remember that she chose this, not us. Then I yank the door open. Diane's scream pierces the night air like a siren. She's naked, straddling Tyler, hands braced against his chest, completely lost in the moment until reality crashes down on her. Her face goes from pleasure to horror in an instant, eyes wide with the kind of panic that comes from being caught in an unforgivable act. Tyler's reaction is even better. His eyes go wide with shock and fear, scrambling to cover himself with his hands while looking around frantically for his clothes in the cramped space. The arrogant swagger is gone, replaced by the pathetic vulnerability of a man who realizes he's not dealing with an oblivious husband but a very angry one. Who's been planning this moment. Connor's camera captures everything in high definition. The scattered clothing draped over the seats and hanging from the rearview mirror. Tyler's expensive sneakers tossed carelessly on the floor. Most damning of all, the wedding photo that Diane keeps in her purse, the one from our honeymoon, lying face down on the dashboard like discarded trash. What the hell? Tyler shouts, trying to push Diane off him while simultaneously reaching for his clothes. But there's nowhere to hide in the confined space, nowhere to run, no way to deny what we've caught them doing. I reach into the car and grab Tyler's arm, my grip iron strong from years of manual labor. His skin is slick with sweat, and I can smell my wife's perfume on him. The same expensive scent she's been wearing for months, the one she claimed was a gift from her book club friends. With one swift motion, I yank him from the car. Tyler tumbles onto the pavement, naked, exposed, utterly helpless. He scrambles backward on the cold concrete, finally understanding that his night of pleasure is about to become something much more dangerous. "Please, man, I can explain." Tyler starts, but his voice cracks with fear. I take a step toward him, my shadow falling across his pathetic form, and see something I haven't felt in years. Pure, focused rage. This boy, because that's what he is, despite his age. This child thought he could take what belonged to me and walk away unscathed. He thought wrong. My fist clenches, and Tyler sees it coming. His eyes widen with the sudden realization that he's not dealing with a cuckolded husband begging for explanations. He's facing a man with nothing left to lose. My first punch lands square on Tyler's jaw with the sound of breaking bone. 25 years of suppressed rage, of believing the best in people, of trusting when I should have been suspicious. All of it explodes through my knuckles into his arrogant face. Tyler's head snaps back and he crashes to the pavement, blood immediately streaming from his mouth and staining the concrete. He tries to crawl away, grabbing desperately for his scattered clothes, but Connor steps forward and plants his foot firmly on Tyler's hand. "Stay down," Connor says, his voice ice cold. "My son has inherited more than just my work ethic. He's inherited my protective instincts, and right now, they're focused on making Tyler understand the consequences of his choices." I kick Tyler hard in the stomach, not wild emotional swings, but calculated professional strikes designed to cause maximum pain. He doubles over, gasping for air, and I follow up with a brutal kick to his groin. His scream is high-pitched and agonized, the sound of a predator realizing he's become prey. "Richard, stop, please!" Diane's voice comes from behind me, sobbing and desperate. She's frantically trying to pull on her clothes with shaking hands, her blouse inside out, her carefully styled hair now a mess. She looks nothing like the composed woman who kissed my cheek 2 hours ago. She looks exactly like what she is, a cheating wife caught in the act. But I don't stop. I kick Tyler again, ribs this time, then his back when he tries to protect his stomach. Each impact is for a year of marriage that meant nothing to her. For every lie she told, for every time she came home from these meetings and kissed me hello like a loving wife. Tyler curls into a fetal position, whimpering and bleeding, no longer the confident young man who thought he could steal another man's wife without consequences. He's just a broken, pathetic figure on cold pavement, learning that actions have prices he never considered. I step back, breathing hard, my knuckles split and bleeding. But I don't feel satisfaction, just a cold emptiness where my marriage used to be. Violence doesn't heal betrayal. It just makes the silence afterward feel heavier. Connor turns his attention to Diane, who's stumbled out of the car, mascara streaming down her face, pleading incoherently. "Connor, baby, please. I'm so sorry, it was a mistake. I never meant—" She sobs desperately. "You're not my mother anymore," Connor replies flatly, cutting through her desperate words. Then he punches her. Once, clean and precise across the face. It's not brutal like what we did to Tyler, but it's enough. Diane's head snaps back and she collapses against the car seat, sobbing, hand pressed to her rapidly swelling cheek. Blood trickles from her split lip, and I feel a grim satisfaction seeing her perfect makeup destroyed. "Let's go, Dad," Connor says, pocketing his phone. "We got everything we need." We walk away without looking back, leaving Tyler groaning on the pavement and Diane crying in the car, both of them completely destroyed. The parking lot feels different. Now, no longer a place of betrayal, but a crime scene where justice was served. In my car, we drive 3 blocks in complete silence before I pull over. My hands are shaking now as the adrenaline wears off, but my mind is crystal clear. I know exactly what needs to happen next. I make 2 calls. First, to Mark, my locksmith, friend from the union days. "Mark, I need you at my house. Now. Change every lock. Front door, back door, garage, windows, everything. I'll explain when you get there. Mark's been through his own divorce. He doesn't ask questions. On my way, Richard. 20 minutes, he responds immediately. Second call is to George, my lawyer friend who handles divorce cases. "George, I need to file for divorce first thing Monday morning. Adultery. I have video evidence, before, during, and after. I'm sending it to you now." I airdrop the video from Connor's phone to mine, then forward it to George. My phone rings within 2 minutes. "Richard?" George's voice is professional but excited. "This is perfect. Absolutely irrefutable. With evidence this clear, you'll keep everything. House, savings, retirement accounts. She gets nothing. Good, I reply simply. File the papers Monday morning. Consider it done. And Richard? I'm sorry this happened, but you played this exactly right. She's going to wish she'd never been born, George responds. By the time we reach home, Mark is already in my driveway with his toolbox. I explain in clipped sentences. Wife cheating, caught her tonight, need her locked out permanently. Mark's face hardens with understanding. He's been where I am. He works fast and efficiently, changing every lock in the house. Front door, back door, garage entrance, even the side gate to the backyard. When he's finished, he hands me a complete set of new keys. You're bulletproof now, Mark says. She can't get in, can't claim she still lives here, can't access anything. Smart move. I pay him double his usual rate. Good friends who help you burn down your old life deserve to be compensated well. Then we wait. Connor and I sit in the living room, the football game still playing unwatched on the television. Neither of us speaks. We both know what's coming. An hour later, we hear Diane's car in the driveway. Her footsteps on the porch sound different now, hurried, desperate. Her key slides into the lock, but it doesn't turn. She tries again, rattling the handle. Nothing. "Richard! Richard! Open the door!" Her voice is high-pitched with panic, all pretense of composure gone. "Please, let me in! I can explain everything!" I walk to the door but don't open it. Through the wood, I can hear her breathing heavily, crying, probably trying to figure out what went wrong with her carefully managed double life. "Go stay with Tyler," I say loud enough for her to hear. "Please, it was a mistake. I was confused, I was stupid, but it didn't mean anything." She sobs, pounding on the door with her fists. "Connor, please, I'm your mother, help me." Connor appears beside me, his face stone cold. "No, you're not," he calls through the door. "You stopped being my mother the second you decided to cheat on Dad." I have nowhere to go. Diane collapses on the porch, her sobs echoing through the quiet neighborhood. "Please, I'm sorry. I'll do anything. I'll never see him again. I'll go to counseling. Please." "Not our problem," I say quietly, then close the living room curtains and walk away. Connor follows. We sit back down on the couch and unmute the football game. Outside, Diane's cries continue for another 20 minutes before we finally hear her car start and pull away. The house feels different now, cleaner, like a poison has been extracted from something I thought was healthy, but was actually rotting from the inside. "You okay, Dad?" Connor asks. I consider the question seriously. Am I okay? My marriage is over. 25 years of my life just ended in a parking lot beating and a locked door. But as I sit here in my house now, with my son who chose to stand by me, I realize something surprising. I don't feel victorious. I don't feel sad. I just feel free. "Yeah," I tell Connor. "I think I'm going to be fine." Outside, the neighborhood is quiet again. Diane's car is gone, and Tyler is somewhere nursing his wounds and probably reconsidering his life choices. Justice has been served, and tomorrow I start rebuilding from the ashes of what I thought was love. But tonight, Connor and I finish watching the game in the peaceful silence of a house where lies are no longer welcome. 60 days later, I sit in the same chair where I used to watch football with my wife, but everything has changed. The house is mine now, legally, officially, completely. The divorce papers arrived yesterday with the judge's signature, making permanent what began that night in the parking lot. The proceedings were swift and merciless. George was right. The video evidence was devastating. Diane's lawyer took one look at the footage and advised her not to contest anything. "You have no case," he told her bluntly during the settlement conference I didn't attend. "Take whatever they offer and consider yourself lucky." The judge wasn't sympathetic to a woman caught naked in another man's car. In our state, adultery matters in asset division, and visual evidence trumps tears every time. I kept the house, fully paid off, now appraised at $485,000. I kept my retirement accounts totaling $340,000. I kept my savings. My car, my investments, everything I'd worked 25 years to build. Diane received a settlement of $1,500 and her car. No alimony, no claim to future earnings. The marriage was dissolved as if it had never existed. Through mutual friends, I hear fragments of her new life. She moved into a run-down efficiency apartment on the wrong side of town, working double shifts at a 24-hour diner to make rent. Her book club friends disappeared the moment the scandal broke. Adultery carries a social cost in our suburban community, especially when video evidence makes denial impossible. She tried reaching out to Connor repeatedly. 15 calls the first week, desperate voicemails pleading for forgiveness. Week 2, she showed up at his apartment. He watched through the peephole as she knocked and pleaded, then simply went back to his work. Week 3 brought walls of text explaining, justifying, begging. Connor blocked her everywhere. 3 months after the divorce, she called him from a coworker's phone. "Connor, it's Mom. Please don't hang up. I need help. I have no money, nowhere decent to live. I'm barely surviving," she pleaded desperately. "That's not my problem," Connor replied, his voice completely flat. "I'm your mother," she insisted. "No, you're not. You stopped being my mother when you decided Tyler Reed was more important than our family," he answered. Before hanging up, she never tried calling again. Tyler Reed vanished from existence. The night we left him bleeding in the parking lot, someone called 911. Paramedics found Tyler unconscious with severe injuries, broken ribs, internal bleeding, fractured jaw, ruptured testicle. He spent 4 days in the hospital, refused to press charges despite security footage capturing everything. "I don't remember who attacked me," Tyler claimed repeatedly, though his eyes said otherwise. 2 weeks after his release, Tyler disappeared. His apartment was cleared out overnight, car found abandoned 3 states away. His phone disconnected, social media went dark. Tyler Reed simply ceased to exist. Rumors circulated about predators who target married women finally meeting the wrong husband. When acquaintances ask me what happened to that guy, I just shrug. "I heard he left town," I reply. My tone discourages further questions. Some secrets stay buried. 1 year after the divorce, Connor and I have established new traditions. Sunday dinners we never had when Diane controlled our schedules. We cook together, talk about his thriving graphic design business, my upcoming retirement, life without betrayal's complications. The house has been completely renovated. I donated every piece of furniture Diane had chosen, repainted every room she'd decorated, replaced everything that reminded me of our shared life. It's my space now. Clean, honest, free of ghosts. Connor's dating someone wonderful, Sarah, a teacher who makes him laugh and never asks uncomfortable questions about family history. She's everything Diane pretended to be. Honest, kind, present. On this Saturday evening, 1 year and 2 months after the parking lot, Connor and I sit on the back porch watching the sunset. 2 beers between us, comfortable silence stretching out like a gift. "You doing okay, Dad?" Connor asks. I consider the question seriously. The anger has faded to acceptance. The betrayal transformed into gratitude. Gratitude I learned the truth before wasting more years. Gratitude Connor stood by me. Gratitude I had the strength to burn it all down and rebuild. Yeah, I tell him honestly. Better every day. Connor raises his bottle. To moving forward. To moving forward, I echo, clinking bottles with my son. Diane chose her path. Tyler chose his. And I chose to destroy betrayal rather than accept it. In the ashes of my marriage, I built something stronger, a life without lies, a home built on truth, a future earned through courage. I didn't just survive betrayal. I annihilated it. Connor finishes his beer and stands to leave. Same time next week? Same time, I confirm. After his taillights disappear, I remain on the porch, watching stars emerge. Somewhere out there, Diane works another night shift, sleeping alone in a place that will never feel like home. Somewhere, or nowhere, Tyler Reed's story ended exactly as it should have, and here I am, home, whole, victorious. For the first time in 25 years, I know with absolute certainty that the person I'm sharing my life with, myself, will never let me down.